When was the moment you realized that your best friend wasn't your best friend? Our conversations were getting shorter and less intriguing. One day, I received great news and wanted to share it to my best friend. I then realized that they deleted and blocked me on Facebook. While they were driving, everyone decided they wanted to party. No one had money, so they suggested they should call Vava as he always has money. I was sitting in the back seat. I was like, I'm right here, and I'm not in the mood to party tonight. I was totally this guy Bud with Tree. I was always hooked up and knew everyone in town. That's old Bud pretty much, so whenever a friend of mine had a drought they'd always come to me. But then these two fellas decided I'm always holding, and that they could save a fortune just mooching off me. I'd be more than happy to sell a cut of whatever I was holding, but that's never what these two wanted. They just wanted to put their feet up at my place all afternoon and smoke my weed. Once I was at work and they texted me asking if I left my door unlocked for them. What? We live in a fucking shithole. No, my door's not fucking unlocked. Not even when I'm home. Do I leave the deadbolt open? So naturally the follow-up was if they could get my keys so they can hang out at my place, and asked where I keep my tree in the same message. Texted them a long tangent about how disrespectful they're being, and all he could fucking say was chill the fuck out bro, it's not a big deal. Next time they came over I happily packed and lit my bong, and when the guy reached out for me to pass it over I just cocked a bro and took another rip. After I told him he ain't smoking if he can't match, and somehow that makes me the villain. They left early that day and stopped coming over after a couple more attempts at toking my hard-earned bud. When we went out to eat and I offered her to pay, as usual, because she told me that she forgot her purse, she ordered loads of food and ate only half of it. After leaving, her shoelace was loose and she bent over to tie her shoe and a $100 bill was sticking out of her back pocket. She did this for 4 years and I never realized. Gave her another chance without saying a word. 3 days later I found out she was constantly using my Instagram to text my ex-boyfriend to end my current relationship. I think she never got slapped so hard. When my best friend had marriage troubles, I was there for him. All through his wife's infidelity, the divorce, and the custody battle. I testified on his behalf in court, and he got custody of the kids. Fast forward 2 years later, when I find out my wife is cheating on me, he's not really interested in talking to me about it so much, and even acts like he's not home when I stop by for a visit. And no, he wasn't the one my wife was cheating with. He's a good dad and a fun guy to hang around with, but he's just not emotionally available to help other people out much. When she got s-faced drunk at my her godson's, wedding, trashed a hotel room, called me horrible names, and punched me closed fist in the face. She ended up passed out on the grounds of the hotel, came to and was arrested for trespassing because she refused to leave the premises. Days later, via email, blaming me because she didn't realize she was harboring so much animosity towards me. Bye bye. When I found out she was sleeping with my boyfriend, fucking itch. When they would talk and talk and talk about themselves, but never ask about me. This can be a tricky one, especially if you're an introvert. It can seem like a full relationship because you learn so much about them, but later you finally realize they don't know a thing about you because they never ask or have to go when you start talking about yourself. Sucks to realize it. I found out she was uploading my art to a bad art blog. I only found out because she sent me 2 paragraphs telling me I was a horrible friend anonymously on Tumblr. Then when I went to her crying over it wondering who it was, she said it was her and then blocked me. I thought I could still fix things, but then I found a bad art blog with my art on it and found out she was talking shit about me to her other friends. I was only 15, and even though it's been years since it, I'm still fucked up by it in some ways. If you don't like someone, don't pretend to like them and make fun of them behind their backs. Just let them know you feel like you can't be friends anymore and distance yourself. Yeah, that will hurt in the short term, but it won't monumentally fuck over someone's entire psyche as being fake will. Best friends for a couple of years. We were in different classes. I wrote her a message that I'd be on my way to her. When I arrived, she forgot to alt-tab the chat window with someone else making fun of me at the worst possible way. At that time she was my only friend. Was tough to have no friends after that for a long time. This might not sound like a lot, but I think that scared me, and I'm still struggling making friends. Edit. Holy shit. That wave of responses is just crazy. Thanks for everyone who's reaching out to me. Also, thanks for the silver kind stranger. Best friend of 15 years. It all unraveled the night he told my cousin to kill herself, tried to start a fight with multiple people at my house, and flipped off my mom. Edit. Yes, he was drunk at the time. No, I'm not reaching out to him. Disrespect to my family is an irredeemable offense in my eyes. He's out of my life completely now. My best friend of high school, someone who I thought would be in my life for a long time, started to hit on a girl that I was talking to. He would lie about me to change her opinion of me, and the best part is he never admitted to a thing. Maybe not that bad, but I felt really betrayed. When I opened up to her about my postpartum depression, and she told me that she didn't have time for depression, and it was weak. I was never vulnerable with her, but I was dying inside. I needed someone, and she had told me she didn't care. I began shutting her out then. When she told me my husband and I would make hideous babies, because red-headed babies are the ugliest thing she has ever seen. She also locked me out of our hotel 4 hours from home with no way home at 3 AM that same day after an argument over her saying my husband kills people for a living. He's a chemist who works on developing chemotherapy. That was the last time I've spoken to her, 4 years ago. Such a jealous woman. Every time she called me, I would have to poop. Literally the sound of her voice would make my body want to expel waste. And this was before cell phones, so I had to do the poop dance in the hallway while trying to get off the phone with her. When I invited her to hang out with me at the nearby lake for my birthday, she said she would get back to me. She never did. Instead, she posted on her Snapchat story about how much fun she was having with her other friends. I stopped talking to her after that. I have lived within 2 hours of him for the last 6 years, and he has never come to visit me, always me visiting him. Last straw had a huge July 4th BBQ, and invited him, and he declined, so he could go to a lake with strangers. Fuck you, Rick. That's fucked up. I'm out of touch with my sister, who's lived within an hour's drive of me my whole life and only visited once in 17 years. I've visited her uncountable times, went to her wedding, her diploma ceremony, her birthdays, played with her kids, random social calls. 6 years ago I moved to the same city, 15 minutes away. I invited her over multiple times, even setting a date 3 times. She just didn't show up without cancelling. I had to get free from work 2 of those days, which wasn't easy. After the 3rd time, when my amazingly social and friendly roommate came in all enthusiastic to meet my sister finally and saw the disappointment on my face, she told me it's just unfair. She was right. Bye bye, C's.